Meantime, the other great sideshow that we have to keep talking about because it's just too funny is our old mate KK, who continues to fail up in her quest to end up getting a safe Labor seat in the lower house, so eventually she can become opposition leader, Prime Minister, Governor-General and Pope. I'm sure there's a higher position than Pope, but she will eventually be pushed up towards it. Now, you know, she wants that safe seat because, well, she doesn't have to worry about re-election, which means she can focus full time on the life goal of up, up, up.
The people of Fowler, the families of Fowler, deserve better. They deserve a government that is on their side. And so this is why I want to step forward and be their local representative. Why I chose to move to Fowler, to move both physically and, I hope, representationally.
She hasn't moved yet. And again, the best thing for Fowler is a guaranteed Labor MP to be replaced with another guaranteed Labor MP to somehow change government? No. If you wanted to make that message, you would go to a marginal Liberal electorate and use your star power to be able to win a seat to get closer to the 76 that's required. But she tried that, didn't she, in Bennelong, and it didn't really work out. Of course, Albo fully backs KK in her quest to eventually take his job.
Andrew Clennell, my colleague, reports that you were supportive of having the National Executive endorse Kristina Keneally as the #1 Senate candidate. So is this a bit of, you know, a drama that you could have avoided by just backing Keneally to be the #1 on the ticket, as Andrew said you were willing to do?
Well, I, of course, think that the Deputy Senate Leader, if she nominated for the Senate, would be #1 on the ticket. That is something that is a given. Kristina has chosen to nominate, put herself forward to go to the lower house.
And because it's each way Albo, when that word salad didn't quite convince people, he played the race card yesterday, and we had great fun with that, didn't we?
Kristina Keneally was born in the United States, came to Australia and is another great Australian success story of a migrant who's come here and became the New South Wales Premier.
But see, that doesn't work either, because the person who was guaranteed to be the next Labor member for Fowler is already a good migrant story in Australia. But of course, the lady who lives here wants to steamroll and make sure that she can go from the island, a ferry, 1 hour in the car, and then end up being the member for Fowler. Well, after some criticism of all of this, and it's fun to watch, Anthony Albanese has now said, no, let's make this a fair process. Let's make sure that Kristina has to fight for the seat by going through a pre-selection battle.
That will include the National Executive Committee. I'll be asking them to meet tomorrow, and the National Executive to meet on Friday to call nominations for seats to close the following Friday. Those seats will include Hunter, Fowler, Reid, Banks, Robertson and Page.
So a 1-week process where, guess what? Only one person will be nominating, and I wonder who that might be.
I think it is likely they will be unopposed, with Kristina Keneally continuing her contribution to our caucus and to the National Parliament. And the fact that someone who's a former Premier of New South Wales, who is part of one of the 4 leaders of our Parliamentary Labor Party team, has decided to run to take that capacity to the lower house is not a reflection on Tu Lee.
Dig up, dig up. The migrant story didn't work, and now she's going to have a process where it's guaranteed she's going to win because nobody else will be running against her. Oh, this is magnificent. That's the bloke who wants to put climate, not China, at the front of the relationship with the United States. Elections have consequences. Can't say you haven't been warned.